This is Indiana Hoosiers Live 91, presented by FanDuel. Brad, can't say I'm surprised that we're sitting here talking about the commitment of Monshun Showtime sales to our Indiana Hoosiers. It was historic last Friday for the Indiana Hoosiers. We're going to get into it. But I see a strange look on your face right now. Brad, what's going on?
I mean, I'm not surprised. I've been saying this is going to happen for like a year now. I felt really good about it about 18 months ago when Kazimir Hicks actually committed, funny enough, and he quote tweeted, "The best in Indiana play for Indiana." And from then on, like, we've never had a 5-star tweet that stuff. He didn't have to tweet that out, right? And it's a culmination of a 3-year-long recruitment. They had their sights on him as soon as they got to Bloomington. Credit to the coaching staff, credit to Monshun Sales for getting the opportunity to play for Indiana, passing all the the tests maybe that Sig throws. I don't know if he's like testing them, but Sig talks to every single person that comes in through the door, and he likes a certain type of person. Obviously, you got to be talented at football, but you also got to have the human aspect of it to his approval, because and that comes from him evaluating players at all levels, whether that be at Alabama, all the way down to Indiana University, Pennsylvania. Not surprised by any least. Congrats to Monshun Sales. He's going to be a tremendous talent. My player comp for him is it's hard to find 6'5" track speed anywhere. It seems almost unfair to give this comparison. I'm going to say Randy Moss, just strictly based on measurables and kind of what his build looks like. I think what's the most exciting about him is that he is so far complete, so far away from the finished product. It's exciting. He has weight to gain. And hopefully he maintains that speed as he puts on pounds. I think he can really develop as a pass catcher. Obviously we're looking at highlights here, so I don't think he has a ball catching problem. But I think, if he can get to the level of having a catch radius of a Charlie Becker, like get in the lab with someone like him, and obviously like what's great about going to Indiana is he will have those resources. Like you have to imagine Omar Cooper and Elijah Surratt and Miles Price and all these NFL receivers are going to be walking through the door and getting some offseason work in, and it's a tremendous opportunity for a guy like him to be able to learn and pick up mentors along the way. And just super excited. Obviously, don't have
the whole sales conversation by yourself, Brad.
Yeah, I know. It's I'm getting ready for my solo show in a few weeks.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah, no, I do want to have a full-blown discussion about sales because I have a couple questions for you and obviously a couple points to hit, and I do want to get into the greater thing of like what does this ultimately mean for the future of the program, because like you just got into, like this isn't really that surprising to either of us who've been paying attention to this recruitment, knowing that as it kind of went on, that not only was Indiana like well positioned in it, but they were basically ended up being the front runner when it came down to it. But I want to zig a little bit, Brad, before we jump back into this Showtime sales commitment, because you know that I spend a little bit before the show looking at the FanDuel app, scrolling through, seeing what things have changed, and I have some line movement to present to you, Brad.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. On the FanDuel app, Indiana versus North Texas. Indiana has gained a full point. That line is now the Hoosiers minus 39.5 to open up the college football season against North Texas. I got to be honest, Brad, even though it climbed from 38.5 to 39.5 since we spoke about it, I think last month, it still makes me a little nervous given how
nervous for what?
Nervous to cover. Not that we're going to win the football game, but like that's 40 is a lot of points.
Yeah, and historically, Indiana hasn't even covered a 30-point spread in week 1 yet. So, I've already said this on this show. I would take the North Texas points here. I would. I might even do it. I might even do it myself. That's a lot of points. That's a lot. Some things, me and my inner circle, we say a lot. That's a lot of points. It's a lot of points.
Let me give you the counter argument as to why I kind of understand. Not only do I understand it, but I kind of like it. is that if you look at Kurt Cignetti's first two teams, right, there's really no expectation for the 2024 team. So even though we both thought they played really well, it was a little bit of a disappointing game. People kind of had a weird mood left at half. The conversation leaving that game was about the crowd. Go into last year's opener where you have Colton Joseph running wild across the Hoosiers, which is basically the only offense that defense gave up all season. And the conversation coming out of last year's opener was, holy shit, we're going to go 6-6, which was hilarious.
That was not the conversation after that game. That was not it. That was not the conversation after that game. We were not daunted after that.
No, me and you weren't daunted. I know. Me and you were like, don't be alarmed by this. It's game one, blah, blah, blah. But there was really, not that last year didn't have any expectation, but they were still being doubted to a certain extent. Like this year's team has a little bit of a different chip on their shoulder, whereas I'm still seeing people in our fan base have doubts about where Josh Hoover is. And like, I got a comment back today that was like, I don't know, like that spring game was a little shaky and like, I'm not sure Hoover is where he needs to be. And it's like, I think there are, in a weird way, there are definitely more eyeballs on the football team, but it's a different scrutiny. And so I could see the execution being dialed in a little bit sharper for this football team. Not that there weren't reasons for the last 2 years to start strong, but there wasn't the same spotlight that there's going to be on this team to start the year. So that may be a reason why the offense is humming a little bit earlier. And then also, I think eventually, as much as I really do like the fact that we don't play any tough games in the non-con and we just blow everybody out, like I would like to see Indiana play a marquee non-conference game, not just because I think that I'm leaning into any of that SEC style scheduling argument, but just out of like pure entertainment value. I think that would be cool to be in those types of positions. And so like, yeah, it would be cool to see them start strong. And so I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on that one because I do think that it, like history tells us, it's going to creep even further up. And so if you do want to take the Indiana line, maybe take it now. Because my guess is that's probably going to close around 45.
Yeah, it's probably going to go up. Not financial advice.
Never is.
Don't hate. I still like North Texas, despite all you said. I think this team. All right, with going back to the FIU game 2 years ago. Yeah, it'd be about almost 2 years ago. Crazy that it's felt like 5 years ago. The FIU game, anyways. Only 2 years ago. They come out of that game. They play exceptionally well. So probably some of the best football we've seen from Indiana since the Tom Allen 2020 team.
They ran for 234 yards
in that game. Yes, they did. But it wasn't like perfect. It wasn't like this perfect execution game that we saw basically every game since then. Besides maybe Old Dominion. And, when you account for the level of competition, right? In terms of doing what you're supposed to do, given the level of competition, the week one games are the only games that don't really match up with the rest of the Cignetti resume. I guess my point being is that
even if you take it even,
I just feel
Brad,
like
take it a step farther back. If you look at the week one games,
better as they go on.
Well, Brad, if you look at week one games in general, the College Football Playoff Committee has told us repeatedly that week one doesn't even matter that much.
Mm-hmm. Well, it does in the sense.
Well, I guess now it does. Well, maybe it does because Miami was able to jump Notre Dame at the end of it, but I don't know.
Yeah. Stat correction.
Live stat correction.
Live stat correction.
Yeah, good stuff.
So we can run through the schedule at some point.
We will.
Get to that point.
Yeah, we are for sure. The other thing that I noted on FanDuel, Brad, because we'll get into a little bit of IU hoop stuff, but not that I was able to watch the game, but they did play tonight. Indiana basketball plus 6,500 to win the national title. Only reason why I bring this up is other teams plus 6,500 to win the title. Purdue, LSU, BYU, Missouri, Texas A&M, and UNC.
Teams that have made the tournament recently.
I just think it's funny that right now, Indiana and Purdue have the same national title odds for basketball.
So ridiculous.
Does it make sense? No.
They're just baiting us. It's just they're just baiting.
That's bait. That is the definition of bait. But I thought it was both notable and funny.
So mean. Leave us alone. Let's make a tournament first. My goodness.
But yeah, a little bit of a teaser
We're
of
not
things
even a
to come
serious
later in the
basketball
show.
program yet. Like, give us a break. Come on. What are we doing?
We'll get into it. But obviously, Brad, the biggest thing that happened last week was the commitment of Showtime sales. We opened the show talking about it, and I do want to get a little bit deeper into it. He made it official live on the Pat McAfee show. I cautioned last week that just because he was announcing on McAfee didn't mean it was a lock for Indiana. Obviously, hindsight being 2020, it probably did strengthen the case a little bit. That was just an electric moment. My first question to you, Brad, were you able to watch live?
No, I was in an interview that day, so I couldn't do it.
I was able to watch live. If you were watching me watch Monshun sales commit, I was live.
Priorities, folks. Priorities. You know, I love football as much as everyone else. Yeah, I gotta pay for cable somehow. You know,
You gotta pay for. You gotta be able to watch football. If you can't,
I gotta be able to watch
football, then
it.
you
I gotta
can't
be
talk
able to
about
buy
it.
this book. You know, like, oh, yeah. Go on now.
But I was live on the Voice of College Football 365 channel. You can go watch that live stream if you want to see the discussion. It was me, a couple of guys, Jackson Johnson from the Alabama Voice of College Football show, and then a couple guys from Alabama and Texas on there as well. And so yeah, definitely go check that stream out. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully Indiana is involved in a lot more of those like live stream commitments because it's cool as shit to win one of those. But I want to get your actual in-depth takeaway, Brad, just from a recruiting perspective, because you've followed recruiting a little bit longer than I have. What type of impact does landing the highest rated recruit in program history have on the future of this program?
So going into this year, I think I learned a lot. As a master of the eye test, I adjusted kind of how I think about things because Indiana winning because usually when you come off a national championship year, you should be thinking big time recruiting class coming in. Gotta be, right? Like has to be. Like elite, like top 10 should, like, no doubt. The difference is that something that maybe I forgot is a lot of these are like 3-year recruitments, right? They're committing their junior year, and a lot of times it's 2 or 3 years you're working these guys. Obviously there's some late bloomers that come in and come about, and those are shorter. But usually everything's wrapped up in the summer before their senior years. The one thing, and it takes a while to build all those relationships, and I think that's something that wasn't taken into account when I was expecting probably some more blue chip guys, right? And whether that has to do with the money and things like that, who knows? All I know is that Cignetti got the guys that he believes will make them successful to win long term. Anyways, back to Monshun sales. Him getting this recruitment obviously is he's the highest rated recruit in Indiana history, being the only 5-star to ever commit to Indiana out of high school. Second ever 5-star to even join the program behind Stephen Carr. Shout out Trojan Fight. And he was so bad. Anyways, he was not that good. And that's what goes into like Cignetti's like thing about like these stars don't matter. You have Bama fans, Copen saying stars don't matter after it was crazy to see. Anyways, the impact that it had on the Indiana program is now it sets the precedent where it's like, hey, like I'm a top recruit. Maybe I should give Indiana more of a fair shake and maybe make it all about the money and maybe look into them a little bit as a brand, you know, that I can join and build my own brand with and continue to win. Because obviously the goal is we win as a team and everyone goes league. That's the idea. That's what they did last year.
Win the title, go league.
Win the title, go league. That's it. It's that simple. That's all the player. That's what the guys that Cignetti brings in. That's all they should care about. That's all he's looking for. That's how Ohio State does it. That's how Michigan does it. It's how Bama wants to do it. It's how LSU wants to do it. It's how who else does it? And Miami does it or wants to do it, and Oregon wants to do it that way. Like
Georgia does it.
Georgia does it, right? Very high level. Would love to get to that level. Yeah, this sets the precedent where I think now you're going to start seeing we already have a 5-star plus recruit going on campus, guy we never even heard of. Like we've been hearing about Monshun sales everywhere. Now these guys are coming out of the woodworks and are going to be on campus for game visits. current or rising juniors in the high school ranks are going to be the highest of the cream of the crop. They're going to be there. And I mean, we saw a plethora of blue chips we've never seen. Half the guys they brought on campus were blue chips this last cycle. That in and of itself was a huge accomplishment for Indiana, something we've never seen before. So like taking the context into things, a wildly successful recruiting class. I couldn't care less with the rankings stack up. It was, from the looks of it, it was always going to be a smaller class because I think going portal is just something that they're always going to do. And I think it's the right way to do it. Like if you want to have the best team year in and year out, Sig's in win now mode, kill now. We're gonna go out there and kick your ass. And how do you do that? You get the best players in the country. And let me tell you, they're not necessarily coming from the high school ranks. They're probably coming from other college programs. So a wildly successful cycle that's basically wrapped up, unless they see some late bloomers they want to bring in and get commitments from in the fall. But they seem set in terms of where they're at, and it really sets the groundwork for future recruiting classes to be of the levels that can maybe creep into the top 20s and the top 10s, which is something we have only seen once, which was a Tom Allen class that he was able to wrangle up into the top 25 way back when. Signetti has yet to do that. So, yeah, looking forward to it. But obviously, at the end of the day, I'm trusting the process. He got the guys he wanted.
You know what I wrote down for this, Brad? Because I answered my own question after I wrote it down. I was like, I'm going to ask Brad this. I'm going to answer it. It said, few leaders exist. Sales kick the door down. And I think that's regardless of the fact that he was in Indiana's backyard, right? Like this is nationally, this is a guy recognized across the recruiting trail, right? But not just from like the media ranks and not just from the college ranks, but like players know who this guy is too. And like, if you followed this recruitment closely, like this is a kid who was being recruited by other recruits from all different levels, from all different classes, like very well-liked individual from what it seems from the outside. And so if you're Indiana and you're showing other recruits that you can go in and win these types of recruitments, like, yeah, you just blast the door down for whatever conversations that Indiana wants to be in. Like one of the things that you could point to, and not necessarily because there are some built-in advantages for the Hoosiers, right? Like they do have Curt Signetti, who ran Nick Saban's first few recruiting classes at Alabama. Like he has the pedigree and the track record to say, I can not only bring in these guys, but I can also develop them and they can get to where you want to go. The only thing working against this staff was the fact that Indiana as a brand is not only synonymous with like not producing talent like that, but the losingest program in the history of the sport. And so it's hard to break a stigma like that. Monshun Sales committing to the Indiana Hoosiers snaps that in half, because that's somebody who everyone looks at, and based on what his national standing is in terms of recruiting ranking, you're expecting that guy to go to the league. And he's taking his career that everyone expects him to go to the league and trusting Indiana with it. That speaks incredible volumes to any person under the age of 17 who wants to chase those same dreams. It's like Monshun Sales trusts the Indiana staff to get him where he wants to go. Maybe I can trust them too. That is a massive, massive, massive deal.
You said it a lot more eloquently than I did. Exactly. If anything, above any, like this is going to sound like I'm discrediting Monshun Sales as a talent, which he has like all the tools in the toolbox. Very raw player from what I can tell.
Athletically, it's you understand
athletically
why he's
has everything.
A 5-star, because he's that raw, like he's athletically a freak, and he's also can get, he has room for development. So if he reaches his full potential with his athletic base, forget about it. Like you're talking about a generational type receiver.
Yeah, and Trojan Fight, he's comparing him to one of their 4-star recruits, and I'm sure he's very good. He's from Hamilton, Chandler, Arizona. He might be better than Monshun Sales right now, production-wise, obviously. Production-wise, like, yes, he doesn't have, if you want to compare them side by side, his production reigns well above Monshun Sales' production. If anything, this is this commitment. Obviously, they're trusting that he is going to develop in their system into the player that he wants to be, and the player that I feel confidently that's the best situation for him to develop as a receiver, and he's going to turn into one hell of a player someday. But if anything, it's a symbol of, like you just said, letting those 5-stars know that, hey, you can trust us with ensuring that you go to the league. There's plenty of 5-star flops that happen, and some of that falls on the players. Some of it maybe falls on the programs. Players develop players. It's something I always say. You got to put in the work. You're not just going to go to Bama and be good. Like it's not just how it works, right? Like you got to put in the effort and the time to do it. The best way to do that though is put yourself in a program that's going to surround you with other like-minded individuals that all have the same focus and put you in an environment to enable you to make those right decisions and put in the extra work to be the best that you can be. And that's what Indiana is. And that's what now Indiana can sell with Monshun sales. And seeing his trajectory inside the program is absolutely vital for Indiana's long-term success. And
100%.
they're putting the eggs in that basket. The coaching staff.
This is also the coaching
let's say
staff
he flops,
making a big statement too.
Yeah, let's say he flops, like not great for the looks on bringing in another 5 stars. So they're putting their eggs in that basket. It was never going to be multiple 5 stars. Looking back, as much as I hoped it would be, and and the rest being 4 stars, like one of those dynasty NCAA dynasty classes that you can bring in. It was never going to be like that. It's the real world, and I learned. But I'm super happy with where the team's at. They have a lot of flexibility to go into the portal and make another very strong team in 2028. But yeah, I'm glad we get to tie a bow on the 2027 cycle with a Monshun sales commitment and really just wrap a bow on it as we can just focus on the upcoming year.
I want to give a shout out, Brad, to Lawrence North's wide receiver coach, Jermaine Wilson, who not only obviously is responsible for the high school development of Monshun sales, but also first round NFL draft pick Omar Cooper Jr., NFL rosteree Donovan McCulley, Indiana Hoosier Davion Chandler. This dude is producing talent at an extremely high level at a public school in Indianapolis. Sick. Obviously, players produce players.
Sick.
And like
Donovan McCulley was a quarterback. He never coached him. But
that's fair.
I hear
you don't know that.
I hear you. Shout out Jermaine Wilson.
He probably worked
and you know what? Shout out Coach Angelo Lombard Williams, my receiver coach. Absolute stud. Sent a couple of DBs. Obviously we play both ways. Sent a couple guys to the league as DBs, not receivers. But shout out L-Dub. You're my guy. Hope you're watching and smoking a nice cigar and drinking some whiskey dry.
The other thing about sales, Brad, is that he also, like, one, he's not afraid to block, and it's evident on tape. And two, he's not afraid to hit either. He played safety. I thought it was over 50 tackles. I think he had over 80 tackles. And he's unbelievably physical. So he's a guy who fits right into the culture that they've developed here. And then, yeah, you talked about like what his development path could look like through the program. Like, look at what Curt Cignetti has done with wide receivers. It's like, yeah, here's the clay. We talk about molding clay, right? Like you like to talk about molding clay. Here's Monshun sales.
It's the best clay we've got.
oh my God.
This ain't Play-Doh. No.
Are you kidding me?
This is shit they get out of art
Curt
school,
Cignetti.
man.
Curt Cignetti. Hopefully you can figure this one out. Like, yeah, like I got my eggs in the Curt Cignetti basket on this one. I'm gonna.
Yeah, his combination of size, more so length and speed is just something I have a tough time remembering since Randy Moss, to be honest. Obviously you can think of like a Julio and a Calvin Johnson, but I think Sales is more of the track speed guy like Randy Moss was, as opposed to those guys brought a little more physicality, a little obviously freakazoids and very fast, but not quite the burners. I think Sales could turn into that 6'5", 4'3" guy, but maybe not be as yoked as maybe. I don't know.
What did Tet run, Brad?
Tet's like a Julio. He's a possession guy. Shout out Servite High School, by the way.
Like I'm trying to even like think of a modern
4.48.
4.48. Like, what do you think Sales runs?
Sales probably runs right now, probably sub 4.5. So like right now, for an 18-year-old running 4.48.
I'm not good at like taking track speed and equating it to field speed, but obviously his track times are out there.
Yeah, he's definitely sub 4.5 already.
Which is
he's probably gonna get faster and heavier. So
Well, I guarantee you he's going to get heavier because I don't know if you've seen any of the pictures that the players have been putting up, but anyone who's had any concerns about the type of work that like new strength coach Tyson Brown is having having the fellas do, like, holy shit, every single guy on this team looks absolutely yoked and shredded. It is reassuring, Brad. I'll tell you that. The wonky honky is saying that he ran a 4.43 at the combine.
Gross.
Oh, that might be Tet. Is that Tet or is that?
Tet ran a 4.48, but it's okay. We're fine.
Then if that's
same shit.
Sales.
Same shit. Yeah. Oh yeah, they did invite him to the comics. It was in Indy.
He ran
right.
He runs as fast as Omar Cooper, but he's 4 inches taller. He's 18.
And he's 18. I think that's the biggest part. He's gonna get faster.
Yes, he's gonna get athletically. He's not even in like he's still mature. He's still growing. Like he could get taller.
He could be Calvin Johnson.
I don't want to put any of these. He's Monshun sales, but the like we just talked about the clay that Kurt Signetti and Mike Shanahan and Coach Eddie Burks and the staff. Oh, and he's 17. We're giving him an extra year. He's 17.
Exactly. To our point.
Yeah. The account. I don't know if anybody knows the insider account Larry on Twitter, but he tweeted like Kurt Signetti getting 5 stars is scary for the rest of the country, and it's like yes, it very much is, because wait until the rest of these players see what happens with Sales. Like, because Sales is a kid who wants to work. Like, you see the quotes that come out. Like, he was like, "Yeah, I'm a 5-star. I'm the like. It's cool. It's a great honor. I think I don't want to mess it directly up, but it was like it's a great honor to like be the highest rated recruit. But at the end of the day, it means nothing. Like, I'm coming into work, and it's just like inject that right into
literally couldn't have been more of a Signetti guy himself, and I think that's why they were willing to give him the bag because they knew he was like that. Just built a little differently. No entitlement, which is so rare to find in a 5-star recruit as well. Not rare, but hard to find. Yeah, it's what you do once you get paid is, you're really going to find out who you are.
Yeah, the quote was, "To be the highest rated recruit is a blessing. At the end of the day, rankings don't mean anything. I'm just ready to work."
Beautiful.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah, that kid's going to be special, and a lot does ride on him when it comes to at least high school recruiting. I think no matter what, Indiana's going to be fine with their ability to evaluate it in the portal and get basically whoever they want out of the portal, because what do guys want to do when they're in the portal is win,
develop,
and
win and go league.
It's literally it. So but
it's like if you transfer portal, they've already like. That's why they'll continue to dominate the portal. It's not even because of guys like Fernando Mendoza. It's because of guys like Devon Boykin. And that's another segue is like the NFL training camp starts this week. I think for the Jets, the rookies report July 25th. Devon Boykin's a guy who's on an NFL roster or is going to get a training camp. Like, that was somebody who transferred in off a torn ACL, and people really didn't even know who he was to start the season. He was a main cog in a championship defense. Like, that's the stories I'd be pointing to, is like, if you're a transfer coming in. Pat Coogan, who got cast aside at Notre Dame, ends up winning Rose Bowl MVP and drafted in the 5th round. Like, Aiden Fisher, we brought him over. You know what I mean? Like, the transfer portal, they've long dominated. So to have these types of development stories from high school, and you'll start to see it, like Byron Baldwin Jr., who's going to make an impact, who put up a picture today, another one of those guys Tyson Brown's had his hands on, right? Obviously. Pause, not in that way. Jesus Christ. But, like, you know what I mean? These are guys that are going to start to make an impact, and like development from the high school level is that next piece for this coaching staff, where you're not going to be able to say many things about this staff anymore. Like, one of the things you were able to say before last Friday was, yeah, well, they're not able to recruit high level talent in high school. It's like, close that door. And so then it's like, okay, can you develop somebody from the high school level? And I think they're going to show that with a lot of the guys who are going to make an impact from the class of 2024, even if you'd want to discount Charlie Becker and Ademola Ajani, who are both from the class of 2024, making strong impacts last year. So
yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. Like, it looks very promising, their ability to develop from the ground up as well. Obviously, they're great at supplanting through the portal, but their ability to build up through the ground up. Just think about Elijah Hardy, who's been like guys that have just been there for 3 years in the system, coming in as high school guys. Ajani, Charlie Becker. I mean, the things he's done for Bray Lynch and Carter Smith, even in their developments. I feel like we're going to see a breakout from Kobe Martin and Lane Dino's development over the course. Tucker came in
Didn't
as
you talk about Landino or Ro Hardy?
Tucker came in as a 20-year-old sophomore. Like
D'Angelo Pons was a third game of his freshman season, started the rest of his college career.
All those guys that were at JMU, he developed. He brought in and had them already. Like, the signs are already there. They can do it. It's just about continuing to do it year in, year out, and not letting that complacency leak into the program. And I don't think it will anytime soon, from what it looks like.
Last note on Monshun sales, Brad, is that we are going to get an Indiana versus Indiana commitment battle on August 21st as Lawrence North hosts Brownsburg and Brandon Sharp.
That's going to be an electric game.
That'll be a really fun game. I don't know what week that is for Indiana high school football.
I will not be going, but I will be going to a Maine South game this year. I just need to figure out when.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and catch a Grimsley game if I'm still. We'll see where at what state I'm in. But.
Should we go to the chat? Go to the chat. Go to the chat.
Yeah, you want to go to the chat?
Things that caught my eye. Trojan Fight says, "What's the history or reason behind that Purdue fans yell IU sucks on every kickoff?" It's because their little brother.
Yeah.
Trojan Fight. There's no history there. They have nothing else to say besides that we suck. Because we're the mean old big brother who wins all the titles.
And we have all the titles. They don't have any national titles, so that's
they're the bridesmaid, never the bride. So
again, same. If you want to look at the recent histories of Indiana basketball and Purdue basketball, again, I'll laugh at the fact that we share national title odds right now. Very funny. Very, very, very funny.
They had their chance in basketball. They had it.
They did.
Dark ages are going to end at some point. At some point, the Indiana Dark Age will end.
Von Carvalho is the best freshman rebounder of all time if you were on Twitter today. So I think it's already...
That's awesome. Love a good wing that rebounds. Yeah, I saw them sharing the ball. Love to see it. Back to football. I agree. It could change your trajectory in recruiting. Maybe you get some other high 4-stars that may not have considered Indiana prior to getting sales committing. I would say even further, probably some 5-stars as well. Obviously, there's only 5-star, like 25 stars every cycle. So, how many of those you can get?
And a lot of them end up staying.
With the money being thrown around, probably not going to be more than like 4 for anyone, really.
That's why the market's going to self-regulate. It's like you can't get 8 to 9 5-stars and then turn around and bring in a strong portal class. Like you're going to be spending $18 million on fresh, like high school senior. You know what I mean? Like the money is not going to work out. That's why it's like we don't need to put any of these rules or regulations or cap what these guys are making. It's like let the market determine it. Like it'll eventually even itself out.
Yeah, it's like it'll all even out. It's funny because it's almost like the NIL and portal era it's spreading the talent so equally across the board as it
puts a greater emphasis on coaching and development, and
yeah, it's forcing coaches to coach. What
a wild concept.
Just guaranteed best O-line in the country every year. So hey, how about let's drop some plays? Let's figure it out. So it's kind of funny to see. So Indiana has all the check boxes. So feel good about it. But I may say I have my doubts if portal focus every year is going to work every year. Remember how good Colorado was when the portal worked out and then not so great when it didn't. Indiana has succeeded any Colorado success over the 2 years in Cignetti's tenure. They've gone 2 for 2. And if you want to get into the weeds, they basically have hit on every single commit through the portal so far.
Maybe they're like 98%.
Mekhi Jackson didn't work out because Charlie Becker beat him out. Right? They brought in this.
There was a linebacker from Troy, I think.
It was you're thinking of Najee Logan, who didn't really break through. But they brought him in. He was the UMass leading tackler. Brought him in 2024. He just didn't see the field because of the emergence. They had Jalen Walker and Aiden Fisher, and then Ro Hardy emerged as a true freshman, 0-star recruit. And Isaiah Jones and Caden Turner were already on campus, and they were getting with the program and becoming really good players as Tom Allen is really good at finding really good linebackers, and they obviously had the talent there. So, iron sharpens iron at the end of the day. So, like, you can argue those as flops, but were they really when you go 27-2? Can you really count on anyone as a flop?
I wouldn't call him flop. I would say, like, if you were gonna say like a hit is somebody who made a positive impact on the team, like somebody who came in, competed for a spot, and then left.
Yeah, it's not just positive impact for the team. Like, they're winning at a high level.
No, I get. I'm not saying those guys. I'm not saying that they should change their. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, that's
what people don't get when it's like we're sounding so delusional. Like, literally, ever since Cincinnati's got there, all we've done is go to the win games and go to the playoff. Like, that's literally all we've done.
Yes,
it's all we've done. So, like, you want to call it delusion? I'd say it's delusional on your part for thinking we're crazy.
It's Curt Cignetti's history.
Keep doing it.
This is Curt Cignetti's history tells us he's going to win. He's going to be above 500. His quarterback's going to be player of the year in the league. Like, he's going to have a top 10 defense. So he's going to lead the country in turnover margin. Like, these things aren't just like hearsay. Like, you go look at the facts. Like, look at his football teams the last 5 years. It's literally what they do. Change the logo regardless. He still stats in the same spots.
And another thing, don't ever compare us to Colorado again. We have a real coach. I love Prime. Would play for him, actually. And then transfer after 1 year because we'd lose a lot. But I would love to, like, have the opportunity to learn from him for a year. And I think he brings a lot of wisdom to the game. He's just nowhere near the level of, like, can't even, like, oh my, there's not a single thing that Deion Sanders does better than Cignetti when it comes to coaching and head coach position in college football. Not a single thing. And that's I can say that about a lot of coaches, but I'm not going to single out Deion here, but don't compare Indiana to Colorado. It's just different levels of this shit. It's like Spain soccer versus US soccer. There's just levels of this shit, There's levels. A part of LA. Toot Sellers and WeHo. There we go. Shout out Campbell Hall. Shout out the Holiday Brothers. Shout them out. Shout them out.
Let's go.
Stand up, WeHo. Let's go. Come on, man. Let's go. I mean, technically it's Campbell Halls and Chatsworth, but it's like the same thing.
Unreal. I'm never gonna forgive you for that one, honestly.
Yeah, whatever. It's the same exact thing. I'll fight that fight. I'm sometimes surprised how many Big Ten alums live in LA. It shows a lot. During basketball season, we were outnumbered by multiple opposing teams at home. Basketball, pretty sad. Yeah, we have pretty large fan bases and large alumni bases, and not everyone wants to live in the cold their whole life. So people move. I did the opposite thing. I went to the wind. I went to the cold. I went there. I asked.
It's because you're like a bison, Brad. You run towards the storm.
Yeah, I was too soft out west. I got hard out here.
National Bison Month.
Yeah. Oh yeah, National Bison Month.
Don't forget.
Martin is going to be a name that blows up. Agrees. Does Indiana face former JMU coach Bob Chesney this year? No, they do not. That would be something.
Not unless they meet in the Big Ten championship game.
They will not play until the 2028 season because they had back-to-backs with them in 24 and 25, so they will not see them again until 2028.
Unless they meet in the playoff.
If everything goes well for the Bruins, that'll be year 3, Bob Chesney. Could be a fun one in the Rose Bowl. Hello.
Might be my first trip out there,
Brad. Bloomington, but who knows?
We're getting ahead of ourselves, though.
Juju Lewis might be your next transfer QB. I predict it's not going to work out there for CU. It's so funny because he brings up Juju Lewis. It's like a full circle moment. We've been doing this for like 2 years, right? And our first episode was literally like all about Juju Lewis.
No, that was episode 2.
Okay, it was literally all about the potential that we might be able to get Juju Lewis. And it's funny because now we're in a spot where it's like I could give less of a shit if he comes. Like, sure, I'm sure we can get the most out of him, and I'll trust the coaching staff. But it's like, feel like we can do better than that.
Production wise, unless he has a Darian Mensah type season, like I'm sure we can.
Yeah, like if he goes stupid dummy, like bro, let's go get him because we can. Tino, we have the connections. He's very close with Tino Sincere.
Apparently, when I looked back into that recruiting, like Signetti was a bigger factor in that recruitment than we were giving him credit for. Like, yes, the relationship with Tino Sinceri started it, but Signetti was the leading force in that recruitment. So, not that having Tino would be a negative, it wouldn't. It would absolutely be a positive. But I think regardless, that I think the relationship with Signetti was stronger than we thought it was.
Yeah, and I agree with Wonky Honky. Am I allowed to say that?
I don't know. That's why I kind of I didn't call him Wonky. It's called Wonk.
Wonky. I'll call him Wonky. Wonky.
Yeah.
Wonky. I'll do the Mike Myers Shrek voice. Wonky. All right.
Because you
Tyler
want
Cherry's
to
chance to start next year. I agree because he's on the roster and he has eligibility, so he definitely has a chance to start next year. I digress. That was stupid, but yeah, he's Tyler Cherry. Someone we don't talk about enough. Probably shouldn't because if everything goes right, we don't see him at all this year. We'll see only Hoover and Wilson. Maybe Tyler Cherry in garbage time. Maybe. I don't know. But I think Grant Wilson deserves some PT. They like going with the younger guy.
I would bet anything that we see Tyler Cherry over Grant Wilson in garbage time. There's no chance. And if it's the other way around, then you can
got to give him the reps. Yeah,
absolutely. There's zero chance he's going to be the quarterback next year.
You'll forget when Tyler Cherry committed, top 5 recruit of all time in Indiana. That was a big, massive commitment. He was a 4-star guy
in like 6 weeks. Not even like it was so quick.
Yeah, and you know who is committed to Duke at? Mike Elko, head coach at Texas A&M right now. He wanted him. So the stamps of approval I needed, much like when remember when we talked about Charlie Becker when we recruited that freshman class, what did I say? Lane Kiffin's stamp of approval with the Ole Miss offer. We knew we had something there. Lane Kiffin doesn't just give wide receiver,
no block, no rock.
Always got receivers on that team, those Lane Kiffin teams. But Tyler Cherry set up for success. I actually have him penciled in as my starter for 2027 with Purcell and Bell backing him up. Obviously, I think they have a spot available, so they're probably bringing a guy to compete. But I think Tyler Cherry is in prime position to be the starter for Indiana at least some point in his future.
100%. And then hold your thought on the Nick Marsh stuff, Brad, because I have some hot takes to throw at you at the end of this.
Say that again.
I said hold your thoughts on the Marsh stuff in the chat because I have some hot takes to throw at you.
Trojan fight. I want to bark.
The ESPYs were last week, Brad, and we were correct on one thing. Fernando Mendoza did win Best Male College Athlete. It does feel like, funny enough, seeing that because a bunch of guys from the 2025 team were there. Pons was there, Coogan was there, Carter Smith and Tucker were there. Like Surratt was there. I think Coop was there. Representing, and they obviously didn't win Best Team, but Fernando feels like a significantly bigger star than the rest of the team, and it's weird to say that. Given that like they were all together. No, I understand, but it's just like seeing them after the last like 6 months together again, remembering that like, oh yeah, they all shared a locker room is like kind of mind-boggling in a weird way.
Yeah, since we won the title, what have we seen? We've seen him on cover of Esquire, cover of Sports Illustrated. He's been in commercials. He's got the LinkedIn sponsorship. First overall pick.
He's at every party, every event. Like
he is.
And not like
I'm surprised
not like
I didn't see him at the.
Like it,
yeah, was he at the all white party? For
I'm sure.
He's probably not. He's probably in the film room. But unlike CJ Stroud,
practice.
Yeah, he's probably practicing. Unlike CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, first sniff of an invite to that white party. He was there.
CJ Stroud better than people were giving him credit for last year.
Basically, most quarterbacks in the NFL are good. All right, NFL's hard. NFL's so hard, harder than it's ever been. I'll say that. Every week you're going up against a Khalil Mack-esque edge rusher and a DBs that are 6'3" and run 4.3.
And if they're not that
DBs, how do you throw it?
If they're not those DBs, they're literally D'Angelo Pons. So it's like
straight up.
Really the freakiest of freaks.
Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, he's a Nando star in the making, and could be the more of a star he becomes and the more successful in the NFL he becomes, selfishly, better it is. Obviously, I want the best for Fernando, but the better it is for Indiana football.
Oh, dude, Max Mendoza was like walking. Max Mendoza had a selfie with LeBron. Like he was like almost even a bigger star than Fernando. Like this is that dude is just beginning in terms of like what like the Fernando Mendoza brand is going to become. It's just really cool to like that. That's our guy. That's very cool. And then we were snubbed for best team. Signetti was on McAfee after the Monshun sales commitment, and he made a comment about like it has happened in 130 years or whatever. Like I cannot believe they gave it to the New York Knicks. That felt about as rigged as possible, given it was in New York. That team got snubbed there, and that's one of the reasons why I don't watch the ESPYs.
I mean, it's fan voted, so
I voted. You voted.
Fan voted. Think about it like this: how big's New York? How many people live there?
More than Indiana's alumni base. I'll tell you that.
Yes, 100%. So, checks out.
It's fair.
I think Indiana deserved it. I think if it was a non-fan voted award and they actually had a committee, in which hopefully I would be on it, I think Indiana would get that award.
I think you should be on it too. Curt Signetti
ranked. I should vote for everything. To be honest, I'd be such a good voter. I'd be so bipartisan, too. I would. I would. You wouldn't be, but I would.
What?
You would not be bipartisan. Get out of here.
I would be bipartisan. That's why if I had to take the responsibility, I would take the responsibility.
Okay.
I purposefully refrain from the responsibility so I can be partisan. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Okay. That
was I won't vote in like an AP poll because I'll take the bias. But if I had to vote in an AP poll, I would do it unbiasedly.
I guess Alec Keyser, host of the Voice of College. What's our name?
It's on the screen.
Host of Indiana Hoosiers Live.
Brad, it's on. It's right above you.
Co-host, because I'm also a host, I guess. Co-host of Indiana Hoosiers Live would not be able to vote, but the real Alec Keyser from Ocean Township, New Jersey, would. How about that?
Yeah. I think maybe, I don't know. I guess it's a slippery slope. I'm glad I'm not on that bridge.
Yeah.
Signetti was on Up and Adams, Brad. It was an awesome appearance. We got a couple nuggets. The first one being that Signetti was ranked 8th on RotoWire's list of most hated college coaches. His response was because he's so cuddly and kind, I think was his. His response was, it's because I'm cuddly and likable.
I'm shocked he wasn't higher
number one
on that. I was shocked.
I thought he'd be a little higher too.
The thing is that like it's hard to hate it. Like, did you hate Nick Saban or did you hate the fact that they won every year? I hated the fact that they won every year. I actually never really there was never a reason to hate Nick Saban. There's never a reason
too good. You know what I mean?
Like for me to hate Kirby Smart, even though he can be a whiny little bitch sometimes, and his team's totally out of control as they had a kid in the hospital today. ATV accident. Crazy. There's definitely a reason to hate Ryan Day. The beard dye, the fake coach speak, the bravado, whatever. Plenty of reasons to hate that guy. You can just tell he's an asshole. You can just tell. But Signetti, like, all he's done is just
talk shit and win.
Be the best. And yeah, he talked a little shit, but he backed it up. So like, how can you can't hate. You can't hate when you did like if he lost the national title game, then you could hate him, because you didn't, even then barely. That'd be like picking straws at that point. But it's like if he didn't, like, let's say he lost to Bama in the first game, you can hate him, especially if he's still talking shit. But now he's won it, so it's like he doesn't have to prove shit. So it's like you can't really hate him. It's not justified. But he will, as Indiana continues to win and break people's brains and make people misspell words on Twitter. Talking to you, Bama. By the way, dude, when Bama committed to
his
Indiana,
nickname was Bama, Brad.
Yeah, when Bama committed to Indiana, I'm going to keep calling him Bama. I like that take from our boys at Kirkwood and Dunn.
Yeah,
I'm
from
going to
Tim.
run with it too. I want to keep calling them Bama. When Bama committed to Indiana, Alabama fans were just spewing, coping like crazy. I didn't see one tweet where they didn't go one tweet without misspelling a word. Not one. We had, guys, it's where, WHERE, not WAEAR. Like, you know, like it was, oh my God, it was so bad.
I saw a post, Brad.
Like, these
that
are the people I'm arguing with. I can't take them seriously if they can't even spell words right.
I saw a post that it was somebody from the Ohio State side that was upset that he saw like a Reddit thread that was like congratulating Sales for his commitment instead of like the Ohio State fans being upset. And his conclusion or takeaway from that was like Ohio State isn't afraid or doesn't respect Indiana. I thought that was like the completely wrong read. I'll say it again. Like I think the Ohio State fan base is like one of the only fan bases that kind of understands what's happening in Bloomington, at least the majority of them, and like are very much like we not weary, but like understand that that's another tough game on the schedule.
They're just
like
respecting us as they should.
Exactly.
And that's all we've been really asking for.
And it's not like in like a glazing weird type of way. It's just like, treat us like a real football program because we are one. And when you don't treat them like a real football program, it's like you wonder why the entire fan base gets upset. It's like, no, there's really not much beef between the Indiana and Ohio State fan bases because like Ohio State understands Indiana is coming for the territory they occupy, and they're like, no, we're just going to stay here and defend it. Like but they're not also insecure about their own spot. Whereas a lot of these other fan bases are seeing Indiana coming and going, oh wait, they're coming for our seat at the table. Yeah. It's funny that Ohio State's one of the fan bases that can securely say like they're not coming for our seat, and so come sit at the table. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah, we're sitting. Ohio State's at the table.
It's their table.
Other fan bases are upset because we actually took their chair, and they're not at the table. We're already there. We're not coming for it. We already took it.
Yeah,
we won the Natty. A lot of programs have gone decades without doing that. Most of them, thanks to Nick Saban. Most of them have gone decades without a Natty. Notre Dame, Oregon, Nebraska, Tennessee, Texas, Auburn, USC, sorry, Trojan Fight, Miami, Oklahoma, Florida. These are teams that have not won in a decade.
Did you say Texas?
Yeah, Texas, Nebraska, Washington, TCU, Virginia Tech, Penn State, Florida State barely, but I'll get there. 2013 is pretty recent, and they have two in the modern era. So we've taken it. We're there. We reached the mountaintop. Been a while since other teams reached their peak.
And then there was some speculation, Brad, that Kurt Signetti was going to star in an Aflac commercial. It's not Aflac. It's going to be State Farm. He's going to be in a State Farm commercial. Had some very nice things to say about Jake from State Farm, and we can be on the lookout for that this coming up season.
Yeah, it's going to be all over the place, and just another. I'm not worried. I don't think this has become a narrative, but it's like I'm not worried about Signetti taking these commercials and trying to become big time. I'm not. He's getting his money, and like it's not even about the money for him. I think he's literally doing it as like marketing, like
it's recruiting.
Yeah,
it's you're going to be in living rooms. Yes, you do that every day. It's the same
I'm
reason
the guy
why
from
you
the
say
State
yes
Farm
to the video game.
Nick Saban was the guy in the Aflac commercial. Yeah,
Kurt Signetti has already talked about the positive impact they've seen from saying yes to doing college football 27 video game. Like, his face should be out there, and it should be very familiar to people. So when he gets in front of them for the first time, it's not this mythical creature. That's the guy from the TV. Like, I'm very comfortable with Kurt Signetti. That's only going to help recruiting. And like you just said, Saban did it. Why do you think Nick Saban did it? It wasn't because I can tell you it wasn't because of the checks. He was getting paid very well at Alabama.
Oh yeah. You think Nick
Maybe
Saban
it was because
wanted
of the
to be in Aflac commercials? That guy probably hated acting. Like, you kidding me? Saban actually has some. He actually has more personality. Surprisingly,
he's got some chops.
Yeah.
Why do you think Saban got rid of him?
I don't think Nick Saban could have pulled off that intro for NCAA 27. I
don't think Nick Saban could have looked at the camera like Signetti did and said winning.
And wink, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ohio State does own the table, I will say. They've been at the table for so long.
I said it was their table.
It's their table.
Like I said, it's National Bison Month. Obviously, bison, great swimmers. We've gone over that before. Shout out to Hoosier the Bison. I had a tweet, like if your circle is not talking about Carter Smith being the best left tackle in football, Indiana's #1 defense in college football, Kobe Martin, the Kurt Signetti statue location, and there might have been something else on there. I'm not even sure. You got to get a different circle. But yeah, it's a good time to be an Indiana football fan, Brad. And like I brought up, NFL training camp is going to start this week. We saw Lewis Moore showing up to Dolphins camp. He was working with T-Cow, I think over last week or a couple weeks ago, working on some different coverage stuff. Always love to see T-Cow and the guys getting together, doing good stuff. But what are your expectations for the NFL Hoosiers as we kind of ramp into NFL season?
Oh, man, that's a really good question. I'm getting distracted by the chat. Trojan Fight's getting me going. He always does. He's so good at that.
Hold your Nick Marsh stuff. Hold it.
Hold.
Yeah, I got a hot take for you.
So we're going to have about 20 Signetti guys. Like, obviously, we have other Hoosiers out there, Mike McFadden, Ian Thomas, Dan Feeney, I think, still doing it. Good for him, by the way. Shout out Dan Feeney. Love that guy. What are some pre-Signetti Hoosiers that are out there in the league? Can we name any? Peyton Hendershot. Huh?
Nick Westbrook-Akine.
Nico Westbrook. There we go. That guy tore his ACL my first Indiana football game on kickoff. Yeah, that's Indiana. That was Indiana football before Signetti. That was
Thursday night kickoff.
On kickoff, and he
blew out his knee. With College game day in the stadium.
And our best receiver blows out his knee running down the field. Insane. But anyways, we're gonna have. Let's do the rundown. Mitch McCarthy on the Patriots, Johnny Brady on the Raiders, Mark Langston on the Bills, EJ Williams on the Raiders, Devon Boykin on the Steelers, Moore on the Dolphins, Hemby on the Raiders, Mikhail Kamara on the 49ers, along with Curtis Rourke and CJ West. Zach Horton's going back to Detroit, Keyshawn Williams to the Steelers with Devon Boykin, Miles Price in Minnesota, Aiden Fisher playing for the best defense.
I think he's with Cincinnati.
Who?
Key Williams.
Yeah,
I think he's with Cincinnati.
Let's check this out. Oh yeah, he did get signed, huh? Return guy. Way to check me. But he started with the Steelers.
Yeah, he did.
My little graph here. Maybe I gotta change that. Lost my thought. Pat Coogan with the Titans. Surratt's going to be playing with Lamar in Baltimore. That's sick.
That's so sick.
That's so cool.
Surratt Ravens jersey.
Jacoby Lane and Elijah Surratt are the types of receivers that Lamar has been begging for since he's gotten there. Big possession guys like Zay Flowers, those guys, in addition to Zay Flowers and a really good tight end and Mark Andrews, got some weapons. Watch out for the Ravens this year. This could be a fun year for them if Lamar can stay healthy. Got CJ West, Kalen Black on the Niners as well, and then we got Pons and Rourke on the Jets, and then Mendoza with some of his college teammates that I already mentioned with the Raiders.
Don't forget about Rourke and Kamara.
I did mention them already. Expectations. I think the draft picks are going to make the team. I think.
Yeah, I guess keep it high level.
Yeah,
it's a wide range.
I would love to see, a guy like Devon Boykin carve his way onto the team, or a Mikhail Kamara, or a Lou Moore, I think, or even a Roman Hemby. I think those are the 4 undrafted guys I think have the best shot of being added to a team of 53. I think they're very capable. I think they're winning guys. I think they're going to learn their playbook, and they're not going to make mistakes in practice. And that's an easy way to get cut as an undrafted guy is you just make mistakes. You just don't know your assignment. It's alignment, assignment, and execution. These 2 are very much in your control. The execution part, I almost flipped off everyone. But the execution part is the tricky part because a lot of that just has to do with your ability as a football player. But if you can control alignment and assignment, you're in a really good spot. And it really comes down to can you execute better than the other guy that's doing the first 2 along with you. And that's how you get a job in the league. It's that simple.
John Jacobs saying Mitch McCarthy is no longer on the Patriots. He's on the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Ah, damn it. Ah.
Shout out to Mitch McCarthy.
Damn
Hopefully he's in. Hopefully he has a nice football
got a
career,
camp
and then
invite.
he ends up in the media because that dude's hilarious. And
Yeah,
his future is probably talking into a microphone.
I don't have too much high hopes for Brady. I think EJ Williams maybe can like make a practice squad. I think that'd be huge for him. He's old though, you know, but I think that's a good that's a guy that can give you reps on scout team. Like that's a guy that can give you a look. Like you're going up against Puka Nacua. EJ Williams is the ability to emulate a Puka Nacua with his size.
He's so much taller than Puka.
I'm just saying, like, that's the look, though. Like, Puka's a big-ass dude. EJ Williams, another big-ass dude. So you have that guy going on scout team. I guess they're not the same exact build. EJ's only 6'3", by the way. So he's not that much bigger than Puka. I would love to see Pat Coogan press to start. Khalil Benson is on the Chiefs. He's pressing to start as an undrafted guy. I think that's very exciting. We'll love to see those guys break through. I think it's going to be hard for Aiden Fisher and that Texans team to find first-team defensive snaps. But if he can break in as a rotational linebacker, I think that'd be huge for him as a guy that it doesn't get any better than alignment and assignment than Aiden Fisher. It really doesn't. Noah Kowski on the Steelers, I think, is very exciting. You know, seeing how they're going to use him along with Darnell Washington alongside, see if they're going to use him as an H-back or a true tight end, most likely an H-back, just based on his size. And, just seeing it's exciting to see kind of 4 Hoosiers on that 49ers team. That's always, you know, Super Bowl in mind for them. And then I think Surratt being on the Ravens, like, will be a big-time contributor and will be playing some high-level football come January, which I think is really exciting. So excited to see kind of his ascension in the program. I've already seen some clips of Lamar throwing touchdown passes to him in practice, and he'll learn. It's 3rd and Surratt, Lamar. It's that easy. 3rd and Surratt. Go find him. Yeah, those are my high-level expectations for the team. Is Zach Horton still on the Lions? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get more Dan Campbell than Zach Horton. It really doesn't.
And then Trojan Fight's wondering if we think Mendoza gets any starts this year for the Raiders. If it were up to me, I would say no, but I do think he is going to get. I think he ends up getting a decent amount. Probably, I think
it's
at
inevitable.
least 6.
It's inevitable.
It's probably
I don't think the Raiders. I think one thing that's been noted by the Raiders is that they want to make sure that they have the right team around him. So it's kind of ironic because I think the more they win, I think it's more likely they put Mendoza in low key, right? Like, which is weird because it's like, why would you mix it up with Kirk, right?
Could be a situation where you basically rehab the image of Kirk Cousins. He plays well, and then you trade him when Mendoza's ready to take over.
The last thing they want is to put him in a position to not succeed and mess with the confidence that he has, which he's not a guy that's shaken very easily, but it's just something you just want to avoid as something where you put so much capital into him, right? So it'll be interesting. I think it's inevitable that he gets some starts, but I think if it was up to the Raiders, I'd say no. But it's inevitable. 17-game season. Got old Kirko back there. Love Kirko. He's old as shit. That guy.
Kirko bang.
Yeah, it feels inevitable that we will see Fernando Mendoza start for the Raiders.
Moving back to some Indiana football. This isn't breaking news, Brad, but I guess it was technically breaking news when it was announced on the timeline by Jeremy Gray. Hurt So Good is officially the 3rd to 4th quarter song for Indiana football. You want to talk about creating tradition right in front of our eyes. Like this is how something like that starts. It gets played in the Rose Bowl. You saw the emotion, the reaction from the fan base as it like belted the song out, and that's how moments get created. And so now Hurt So Good immortalized in the Indiana Hoosiers in Memorial Stadium, Merchants Bank Field at Memorial Stadium. It will transition the game from the 3rd to the 4th quarter.
Tell my kids about that. I was there when it started, and it was
They told me actually
magical.
because
And the
Brad sung it
funniest-
so well.
Yeah, and the funniest part about that whole thing is that they played Alabama song, and we were singing the whole thing too. It wasn't a band song, nothing to do with it. We were just singing every song that was coming on that day, which was so funny. But feels like a perfect kind of, you have your traditions of, give me some, what, the Swamp Tom Petty, right?
Mr. Brightside.
Mr. Brightside from Michigan. Like there's a lot of good ones. I'm glad we found our own, and it's obviously perfect. That's John Mellencamp. I think Small Town would have rocked, but I think you could play that throughout the game and probably before the game. I think for a third to fourth quarter transition, I think Hurt's so good. It's a great song to sing when you're up 5 touchdowns. Let's just say it's a wonderful tradition that I got to see come to fruition with my own eyes, and it's very beautiful and it's very fitting of the Indiana.
And your own vocal cords. Yeah, that's good stuff. Some more good stuff, Brad. Charlie Becker was nominated to the AFCA's Good Works team, which, quote, recognizes college football players through community service, academics, and athletics. Shout out to Chuck B.
Shout out. I'm distracted by this tidbit by John Jacobs that Billy Gowers is a barber.
No, yeah, that is actually awesome.
That's so sick.
Sidebar. This is the right place for that. Right. I'm gonna hold that one.
All right. Sidebar, no sidebar. Okay.
No sidebar. I wanted to become friends with a barber so we could get her. There was a story there, but it never came to fruition. The Athletic released their FBS quarterback tiers for 2026. I laughed. They put Josh Hoover in tier 2. Shows me they just aren't paying attention to what's going on in Bloomington. I'm firmly confident Josh Hoover would be in tier 1 at the end of this season. And then I think Brenton Fender online was the one who pointed this out. But if you look at their tier list in 2025, Fernando Mendoza was in tier 2.
That's fair.
No other thoughts on the Athletics tier list?
For NFL quarterbacks?
College quarterbacks.
Of all time?
No, for 2026.
You said Fernando Mendoza was tier 2.
In 2025. On the Athletics list last year, Mendoza was tier 2. On the Athletics list this year, Hoover's tier 2.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I agree. I know exactly what graphic you're looking at. That's the right way to think about it. I actually had an argument in the office today of who's the best quarterback in the Big Ten. Just shot at me. Off a whim, off the dome.
Hey, Brad, you're the master of the eye test. What do you think of this question?
Who's the best quarterback in the Big Ten?
Yeah, that's how it was presented.
Off the hip, you want to know what I said in the office?
I thought that's where you were going. I thought
you were going to love this. I said Jaden Mayava.
Yeah. You love Jaden Mayava.
I do love Jaden Mayava. I think he's very good. He impressed me when I watched him in person. What can I say? He had some crazy seam. His ability to needle the ball through a seam, very good. His ability to throw on the run is very Caleb-esque as well. He's not Caleb, but he has some Caleb-esque qualities to him. I think it makes him very exciting. I think it gives him a lot of upside. I think he can be in the pocket while also, and I give him the flowers above a Say and a Moore and a Hoover because I think they have better situations than he has, which is crazy to say because he has Lincoln Riley calling plays.
He had the number 20 pick in the draft and the third round pick who arguably had more talent.
He had a good year. It was not the offense that was the issue with that team. It was not the offense. That was not their issue. Yeah, I think he's a strong quarterback, and he can make plays on the fly, and he can also, read a defense, go through his progressions. He can do it. He's a complete quarterback. He's what you almost look for in a NFL guy. The ability to do a little bit of everything, master of none. And yeah, I think he's poised for a really good season. And I think USC is a team to watch out for, hence why they're in my top 15.
The Goon Bowl.
Huh?
Jalathan Mayfield was named to the Military Appreciation Bowl. Shout out to Jalathan Mayfield.
I have more thoughts to that. Congrats to Jalathan Mayfield. But it's something else just came to me. It's just like I feel like there's this thinking where it's like this guy, he's an Oregon guy. So it's like he's like, there's just no way in what world is Jaden Mayava better than Dante Moore. And I'm like, I mean, they're definitely the same tier. I don't really think that's much of an argument, right? Like, sure, you can think Moore is better than him, but like to say there's just no debate to it, I think it's just is crazy thinking. And I think Hoover, Mayava, your Nikos, saying more like that's the cream of the crop in this conference this year. I think Rocco Beck's almost right there, and and they're kids. Like it's situational. There's things are gonna happen, and it's just who's gonna have the better season. I don't know, but I think my evaluation tells me Mayava is the best player out of all of them. At least when it comes to like if I want to hand the keys to my NFL team and I'd only pick the Big Ten quarterbacks this year, I'd probably lean Mayava. Or yeah, probably. And but yeah, I think Hoover's in the most helpful system. I think he's gonna have the best season along with Sayin. I think they're gonna have fantastic years. I think more with the new OC, a little more questions to be asked there. Lots of talent there. He has a ton of arm talent.
If you ask Will Stein, it was all Will Stein, so they might be in real trouble.
Dante Moore might stink, based on Will Stein's comments. My goodness. And then, yeah, I mean, it's just tiers. Like, it's not like on a given day, like, I don't know, one could be better than the other, right? I don't think there's too much of a difference. So I like how the Athletic does tiers, and they put them in it. Do I agree with the tiers? No. I think Sayin and Hoover deserve to be in that same, or not, Mayava and Hoover deserve to be in that same tier as Moore and Sayin. Obviously, maybe you can take into account the returning production that they bring. They're on the same program, and Moore was basically, top 10 Heisman, and Sayin was a finalist, right? Finalist. So it's like that works for me by that logic because that's how you should do a preseason poll based on last year and the results they have, not project guys to be better based on meaningless takes like a Bryce Underwood, right? And yeah, it was the right way of thinking about it, but I would have changed some things up.
I get it. Jalathan Mayfield Military Appreciation Bowl.
So it's not the Army game?
The Military Appreciation Bowl.
Did they change it?
I don't know. I was trying to look for who sponsors it or what it's called, but it's a couple different tweets about it, and I just want to shout them out.
That's the U.S. Army game. Okay, cool. So he's a U.S. Army invite. That's awesome. It's a fantastic accomplishment. I consider it, not that it's better than the Under Armour game, but I consider it more prestigious. I think it's an older tradition. I think it's less recruiting ranking based and more so about your high school production and your high school film. Whereas Under Armour games more so a platform for those higher level recruits. Both are fantastic honors. Army game to me holds a special place in my heart. That's just how I feel about it. It's been around longer. So fantastic accomplishment for Jalathan. Great way to, it will be a great way to cap off his high school career there. They used to do commitments then. They don't do them anymore because signing day will be over at that time, but a fantastic place for him to showcase, build connections with other young, talented players that might hit the portal in 2 or 3 years. And yeah, just a great way to celebrate his very well accomplished high school career. And congratulations to Jalathan. If I had my choice of Army game versus Under Armour game, I'm picking Army game 10 times out of 10. So shout out to him. That's a fantastic accomplishment.
That was the response I was hoping for from you. Like you would understand which game he got in and then provide context so that I would be like, okay, cool. Like I now know which game it was. So I'm glad that you were able to hit the
They recently changed it, so it threw me off. Like it's been the Army game, the U.S. Army game forever. So military appreciation, I guess I just don't want to single out
just the Army, I guess.
The Army, even though it's like that was their game, Navy, make your own. Make it the Navy Under Armour game, whatever. Anyways.
And then we got the next iteration in the Getting to Know series. We got Drew Clausen, the long snapper, with Don Fisher.
Number 2 in Phil Steele's draft eligible long snappers.
Number 2.
That kid's going to be a beast.
Second Shrek reference of the show. Basically, number 2.
Talk about a physicality upgrade at a position. Long snapper going from Mark Langston, listed at 6 foot 220.
I love me some Mark Langston.
No slander, but then to go to Drew Clausen, 6'6", 245. He's actually going to be useful out there when it comes to tackling. So I can't wait to see it. Hopefully he lays some big hits. Would love to see that.
And then Brad, I have 5 hot takes or predictions for the 2026 season that I just wanted to throw at you without context and see what you think.
Say it again. Sorry.
I got 5 hot takes.
Okay.
Predictions. I tried
You're
to
begging me to check you basically.
No, these are less. These are hot. Like these are like I tried to get to like a take, and then I was like, okay, how can I like?
You didn't ask me to prep hot takes, so I feel a little left out. But I'll try to come up with some on the fly based on.
No. That's not the I didn't prep you for it because that wasn't the purpose of the.
Okay.
I'm telling you now that I got 5 hot takes for you. I just want you to react to them.
Okay. All right. I'm locked in. Ready to hear it.
Number 1. The ACC will overtake the SEC as the clear-cut number 2 conference in college football.
Timeout. Sidebar. It's just that's just not going to happen. It's just not.
There was an awesome tweet. I
think Miami might be better than any SEC team this year. Past that, we've got like SMU. Cal could be good. Cal could be frisky.
Duke,
like Louisville.
Clemson coming back.
Louisville.
Florida State makes a return.
James Franklin and Vautech.
I didn't even think of James Franklin.
Didn't even say James Franklin yet. That's how deep they're running.
Bill Belichick actually figures it out.
Dabo's still there. Dabo and the boys. Florida State is Florida State. On a given year.
Boston College is the only
Massachusetts. Time out. I do like the Heinshell kid at Pitt. He's very good. I'm very high on him.
Pitt said Pat Narduzzi thinks they're better than the Big Ten.
I'm going to sound like an SEC homer here, but just the depth. The depth that the SEC does provide is at a different tier of the ACC. It really is. It's SEC Big Ten.
Okay, let me throw this at you because there was I purposely left this out because I didn't really want to talk about it.
It's a fair take because I did say with Miami Miami didn't make the championship game in that league, and they went all the way to the championship game in the real thing. So there's something there.
And it was SEC Media Day this week, and one of the biggest talking points coming out of today was that the SEC has had conversations about leaving the NCAA. And so if they left the NCAA, de facto number 2 default conference would be the ACC.
Well, then I'm going to go to bat for my Big 12 boys. BYU.
Got left out of the playoff.
ASU. And almost beat an SEC team in the playoff 2 years ago.
ACC team did beat an SEC team in the playoff. 2 SEC teams.
There we go.
One of them on the road.
Who else can I fight for? Houston's supposed to have a good team. Utah, new coach, but
you didn't say A&M. Not A&M. Tech. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a given though. Biontech.
TCU.
Arizona sneaky 9-4 last year. Sneaky.
Is Fafita back?
Fafita is back. Ted McMillan's high school teammate. Back for a 5th year. Legally. TCU's around. They're a new blood. They've been to a championship game in recent memory. They're there. But yeah, de facto, I'll take that ACC de facto if SEC does leave. Yes. Will that be smart by the SEC? To do that, they'll probably have to poach some other schools as well, likely from the ACC.
Well, also like the college football playoff isn't associated or put on by the NCAA technically. So I don't know if they would even be disqualified from competing in that if they let like I don't know what leaving the NCAA would actually do.
Yeah, it makes the Paul Feinbaum comments of like the NCAA doesn't govern anyone, so this has been in the talks for quite a while now, and
he's not wrong about the first
big ears
part.
and I'm bald. I'm Paul Feinbaum.
They don't govern anyone, so it's like, what would even happen? I guess like there would be some weird stuff with the transfer portal, and like their athletes would. I'm not even sure.
I don't see what benefit that would give them because as long
as they're just whining, they're just talking to talk.
As long as they're still trying to compete for the CFP, and like, why whine? Are you scared? They're scared of the smoke. That's what they are.
Yes,
they are straight up scared of the smoke. And if you want to keep complaining about how tough your goddamn schedule is, leave the fucking conference. Go to the AC. If it was that easy, Tennessee, if you're that good, go to the ACC and win it every year. Go do it. Stop fucking bitching at me about it, all right? Fucking A. I'm sick of it.
Hot take number 2, Brad. I have no idea how I came up with this one. Only 3 Big Ten teams make the college football playoff. I took it a step farther. That's IU, Oregon, and Penn State. There is inter-conference cannibalization. I think people are sleeping on how easy that Penn State schedule is.
But you said only 3?
Yeah.
So no Ohio State is really where I'm getting at. I'll hear out Penn State.
That means Ohio
Michigan,
State in this scenario, Ohio State is losing to Indiana. They're losing to Oregon, and then they're probably losing one of those Iowa. Well, I don't know who is their other road game. Texas and Michigan.
We want to talk about this might be tougher than any SEC schedule. Like going to Texas.
The Ohio State schedule might be the hardest schedule in the country.
We're getting Brett Bielema at home. Big conference opener, Brett Bielema. Not easy, but they'll probably win.
No, they'll win that game.
The week after they play a Brett Bielema team, they go to Iowa. The week after.
Difficult.
They don't get a bye. They go straight there.
I know a team that did that.
And then they get a home game, and then they go to Indiana.
Difficult.
Not fun. Not fun. Now, they could be 7-0 out of that.
Easily. They're Ohio State.
Yeah, but they could also, we talked about Illinois like this last year. There's a world they're 3-4. There's a reality where they are. Most likely,
this is why it's a hot take.
There's no way they're going to lose at home to Illinois in the conference opener. But those are 3 really tough road games before their bye.
I told you.
Really, I don't know if you can. I actually don't know if you can pick and choose 3 tougher road games, combination wise. Yeah,
Texas, Iowa, and Indiana,
the largest alumni bases. So, like in this era, they are cream of the crop, and you're going to their place. Then you got Iowa, the scary, probably that place had me shitting my pants last year.
And their home games aren't easy either. They got to host Oregon.
After that, they got at USC, they got Oregon at home, they got at Nebraska. And they got Michigan. That is because it's not like, yes, they have those they have 5 really hard road games, and they got Michigan, Oregon, and Illinois at home on top of that. That's not easy. Those are
like Illinois is probably their 4th or 5th easiest game. Like that's,
and this is gonna be a weird Northwestern year where they're like 6-6, 8-4. Like they got
momentum off the new stadium.
they got them at home, so I'm not too worried about that. But like, that's a grueling. They got that home game the week after Oregon. It's a grueling schedule. You got Chip Kelly. They got Oregon, and then they're playing Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly, who knows the Ohio State defense very well.
Yes.
I guess it's different defense schematically, but
he knows every defense. He's Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that? He coached there.
Yeah. He's
not that I'm talking myself into Northwestern over Ohio State. I'm just saying, like, when you go through and look at Ohio State's schedule, you can objectively say, like, okay, for any program, regardless of the team, like, that's a difficult game. That's a difficult game. That's a difficult game. Like, these aren't just, they have a couple games where they're going to bowl those people, but it's like that's a very difficult schedule.
Ohio State hasn't lost more than 2 games in a season in over 10 years.
That's why it's a hot take, Brad.
Water's been finding its level lately. It's all I'm going to say. Now, and that's not even a slight to like Ohio State and like how good they are, and they could end up being the best 9-3 team of all time.
They could also very easily be 11-1, 12, like, you know what I mean? Like it's
for Ohio State. I'm going to respect them, but I mean it's
a hot take.
That is something that needs to be talked about a lot. And I don't like your hot takes. I still think in that scenario, I still think we get 4. Because if Ohio State's out, that means someone supplanted them, either a USC, a Michigan. Those teams have shots at Ohio State to boost their resume. So
I think there's conference
Ohio State's out,
cannibalization.
Michigan or USC are probably in.
I think both those teams lose to Indiana. Yeah. I don't know enough about Michigan
but that's a good loss. You're forgetting about good losses.
Yeah.
They're almost better than wins sometimes.
Well, if Indiana's 12-0, that's a good loss. If Indiana's 11-1 and they're like the 8th ranked team in the country, then it's not as good of a loss. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So
I hear you.
It's definitely interesting, and it's like we'll see how the rest of the country shakes up, and that's why it's a hot take.
Penn State's interesting because we talked about them last year, and like they're basically Iowa State from last year plus some Penn State holdover, so a little bit upper level Iowa State from last year, better than they'll be, and they were 7-5 last year, lost to Colorado, mind you. They have the easy schedule, but it's also, Matt Campbell isn't. We'll see.
I could see them being 10-2 and getting a playoff spot because it's like the first year, like blah, 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 senior quarterback, the story, the turnaround, the media, and then they get blown out in the first round by somebody.
Yeah. I think 9-3 seems pretty like they go to Washington, they go to Michigan, not Oregon, and they get USC at home. Those are like their 3 tough games. Everyone else is
USC at home. They're probably a playoff team.
Everyone else is bottom half. They get Wisconsin, who'll be a little frisky this year at home. Big Ten opener. That won't be interesting. And at that point, Wisconsin will have already seen Notre Dame, so they'll be ready. I'm not bought in on. I have Penn State number 19 on my Goon poll, and I'm not. The more I think about them, the less I'm sold on them. Is really like how I think about them. But I think the schedule does them a lot of favors.
That's why it's a hot take. Take number 3, and this is why I asked you to hold the Nick Marsh stuff.
That's why I'm dissecting your hot takes. They're not even that crazy. I don't know.
I think Nick Marsh.
I'm morals justifying them.
Nick Marsh and Charlie Becker are both Biletnikoff finalists. Neither one win the award.
So a Smith, Becker, Marsh finalist. I mean, Hoover's a gunslinger. He throws a lot of passes. And
I'm gonna back Wonky in the chat here and say, I think Nick Marsh is gonna be a top 15 pick.
Yeah. He's a freak.
I do.
He's also a true junior.
He's a freak. He's an absolute freak. You want to talk about development in a short amount of time? Like, wait till you see what he looks like in this offense. Like, I don't even know what else to do besides laugh.
I'm excited because he's gonna fill that Elijah Surratt role. Preston's going to fill the Cooper role, and Becker's going to be the Becker. And we all saw how that worked out.
Becker's pretty good at being the Becker.
Yeah. I would say Preston's probably a slight downgrade, and
When was the
Sriracha.
last time there were
And
2 Biletnikoff finalists on the same team?
probably never, just because like the distribution of wealth, the stats that other guys across the country are going to put up. Like, remember that San Jose State kid that put up a triple crown and he didn't even win it, you know?
Nick Nash?
Yeah, Nick Nash.
Yeah.
Former quarterback.
Travesty. Absolute travesty.
Yeah, he should have won it. Yeah, he won a triple crown. Like,
It went to,
no
I think
ring.
it went to Travis Hunter, didn't it?
It did.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Not that
it should have been like he should have won. Like Hunter should have won the Heisman. Like, but if he wasn't winning the Heisman, he should have gotten the Biletnikoff and Thorpe and all that. Well, if like he's winning the Heisman, like
he won the Heisman because he played both at a high
ways.
level. He was never the best at either.
Yeah, exactly.
He was not the best receiver.
Exactly. Nailed it. What were we talking about? It's just gonna be hard because like we're such a balanced offense, right? And I remember Trojan Fight earlier was saying that like, are stats the end all be all for like who's better, who's not? Because I remember one line of thinking that I really disagree with Trojan Fight, and I gotta call this one out. Very interesting to me is Marsh had a better day versus Indiana defense than USC. This is not how football works. I don't know. It's just what happened that day. That's not. You can't just use that and say like USC's defense is. I don't know. It's just a wrong way of thinking about things.
You got case by case. You got to look case.
Yeah, it's case by case. Context is important. It's not the end all be all. And you know, if you guys are watching Hoarders with the sound off, listening to you guys, why that is like one of the worst optical things to watch. It's a disgusting show. I've seen it. It's horrible. Rats. Ugh.
Shout out to John.
Shout out John Jacobs. What was I gonna say? It's not the end all be all. Like if your offense is clicking, like it really doesn't matter what stats your receivers are putting up. If your offense is averaging, like they went 38 a game with Rourke, 39 a game with Mendoza. I'd anticipate 40 game this year, with the ascension and that O-line that we have. I mean, that O-line is 5 starters coming back, 4 starters coming back, plus Joe Brunner. They're going to run the ball. They're going to pound it. They're going to be so well balanced, and they're just going to click and they're score a lot of points. And that's not necessarily going to equate to a Marsh, Becker, Biletnikoff finalist, but it will get them ascending on draft day, is what I'll say.
Hot take number 4. This is the hottest one on the list.
Wow.
This is by far the hottest one on the list. And number 5 is coming. But Mike Norvell survives the season again.
I love that. I think they go bowling.
It plays into my ACC narrative.
Yeah, I think they go bowling. Who do they got? You got Deuce Robinson coming back. He's a very highly touted receiver. Ashton Daniels comes in. They bring a lot back on defense. I mean, they were just they beat
last year.
Bama last year, and
it's hilarious. Everyone forgets.
Bama they go to Bama this year. They're gonna get their brakes beaten off of.
You say that, but we said that last year.
No, I had Florida State money line. You forget that. I had Florida State money line. Damn it! All right, I'm all over this shit. I was tomahawk chopping, roll back the clips, roll them back. I don't know. I just think they go bowling based off vibes. Really, it's Florida State. Like they just can't be that bad for that.
Yeah, if he doesn't get fired, they have to be better than they were this year. You know what I mean?
It's so sad because like it's very obvious to me that it's like they get jobbed out of not making the CFP, and it's just like just all momentum is just dead in that program. Yeah. Like
it effectively murdered their program because
like they're like, what's even the point?
It doesn't matter.
Imagine you're a player and you go 12-0 and they tell you can't go to this. You win the ACC 12-0, 13-0, and they just tell you no because one of your players got hurt.
That's why the ACC is going to rise again, bro.
That's why I was so upset about the ruling. It wasn't the sanctity of sport, right? Like There is no reason Florida State should have been left out. I don't want to hear, oh, Jordan Travis was hurt, so they wouldn't have put on a good showing for the ratings, and it would have been a blowout. No, those kids earned a fucking blowout against Michigan in the Rose Bowl. They earned that shit.
Yeah,
they fucking went week over week, won every single game on an ACC schedule, and got absolutely
new number 2 conference in the land.
Now, if they lost that Louisville championship game, they should have been out, obviously, but they won it. All right. And they should have been in, and it was absolutely disgusting. It was the worst things that ever happened to the sport to this day. The worst thing that ever happened to college football. Number one, it's not close.
I think I can come up with a worse thing than that.
No, it's not close. It was the most. I threw up. I'm almost about to throw up right now thinking about it. I didn't actually throw up, but it's for the.
It was a good visual though.
It was.
I'm
not even a Florida State fan. I'm a U guy. Like if I'm riding that rivalry, like I'm a U guy. Like I've always liked the U. Like I'm not even like a big like Florida State homer like at all. Disgusting what they did to him. Absolutely, utterly disgusting. Bama should have been out. It should have been Washington, Florida State, Texas, Michigan. They should have been a 3 seed, in my opinion. They went undefeated. They deserve that.
Yeah, I think it's more than fair. My final hot take, Brad. This is probably the hottest one on the list. I think that the Big Ten TV contract becomes too much to ignore. There was a slight change in the conference admittance eligibility rules or something like that basically said, like, if you want to change conferences, you have to be independent for 5 years. But if you're already independent for 5 years, then you're grandfathered in. And so if you see where I'm going with this, I think Notre Dame joins the Big Ten by the end of the year. And I know people are going to be like that NBC contract, and then I think the Big Ten TV contract is going to be too much.
So you have to be an independent to just flip conferences now?
I think they made that change, yeah. But schools like UConn and Notre Dame, who have been independent, can.
So we bring in UConn?
I think we bring in Notre Dame.
Well, you have to bring in 2. I guess you don't.
You don't. Not with the way you rotate the schedule.
You roll 19.
Yeah. Who cares? There's no divisions. It's not like you'd have to like even it out.
Yeah, who gives a fuck anymore, really?
There literally are no rules. Also, Notre Dame, like, joining a conference would be like one of the most brain-breaking, like, I would put it as close to things that would never happen as humanly possible, except for the fact that, like, eventually, like, this Big Ten TV contract is serious. And like I don't know what the like overall earning power is of it, but
yeah, but so is the Notre Dame contract.
It is. This is why it is the hottest take on the list.
I like that.
John Jacobs in the chat asks, hot takes by definition are intended to be controversial. Yes, question mark. I feel like that's pretty Is that not controversial enough for you?
Oh, it's so controversial.
Notre Dame leaves the NBC 1-of-1 contract to join the Big Ten.
So it runs through the 2029 season.
They didn't re-up it yet?
That's where I was going with that, too. I would expect it to be in the 30s.
Interesting. Huh. Maybe it lines up with a couple other things we've been saying, like Notre Dame and Indiana probably meet before that 2030 matchup. I've said that a couple times over the last couple months. It just, and with no like information, it just feels like things are moving in that direction. I don't know. And I wouldn't be stunned if it never happened, but I think enough of the tea leaves are lining up here where they're financially is really the only reason why Notre Dame would feel like they should be independent. And after watching what happened to the Notre Dame brand, where they basically got cast aside because they weren't a part of a conference, I think that's something where, while they publicly would never say anything, I would guess those conversations are probably happening internally, where how much does this MOU hold over, where like you're not going to be able to get guaranteed a playoff spot because your name is Notre Dame every year. Eventually, the conferences are going to get together and strong arm you out. There's more of them than there are of you. So I think seeing that writing on the wall it might be a little bit closer than people think that Notre Dame could give a serious look to joining not just the Big Ten, but maybe a different conference as well. But
I can't believe it took me this long to research it. Including their ACC share, Notre Dame makes roughly $67 million per year off their TV.
Oh my God!
Each Big Ten school makes 80. You get Notre Dame in that, renegotiate that contract, goes up, everyone still makes 80. Easy.
Everyone still makes more money.
Easy.
Everyone's making more money.
You might even make more money than 80. Get Notre Dame.
You're guaranteeing Notre Dame games? Yeah, you're making more money. 100%. And if you see the writing on the wall, if you're Notre Dame and you're like, which conference would I rather join, the SEC or the Big Ten? It's like one doesn't have their shit together and it's talking about leaving an organization that literally basically doesn't exist anymore. And the other one is talking about record-setting revenues. And
God, and that'd be so good for the rivalries too. Like bring back
move
USC
Purdue,
Notre Dame.
You
got Michigan Notre Dame coming back, Michigan State Notre Dame, Purdue Notre Dame, Indiana.
Yeah, funny. And
Notre
we've talked
Dame.
about this on the show. Like all of those matchups that Notre Dame traditionally has had that they basically let run out because of their schedule, all those come back into play. Imagine Notre Dame
schedule Northern Illinois and Marshall again.
Yeah, and nobody thinks twice.
Yeah,
you get an Indiana game on the schedule every year.
Almost every other year.
Yeah, you get an Ohio State game on the schedule. You give Notre Dame a chance to win a conference title for the first time in school history. There aren't many more positives when you look at Notre Dame staying independent, other than the fact that they can be like, we're independent. But I think when you look at what happened to them in the college football playoff, I think that is more of a catalyst to driving what could be a really monumental decision than I think a lot of people are going to give it credit for, because they do a great job of publicly posturing.
And if we get Notre Dame, I don't think there's a debate who's the best conference.
No, there wouldn't be any debate. It wouldn't even be close.
It'd be close, but there wouldn't be a debate.
You'd need to take Clemson and Miami and Florida State, and
that would match up pretty well.
Miami feels like it's a Big Ten school though.
They do. It's an arms race. We've been calling it from the jump. It's an arms race. Bring out the big guns.
Yeah, that'd be nuts though. So that's what I got for. Oh wait, no, and then we. That's what I got for football this week, Brad. You got any closing thoughts on football?
Football? We're gonna win a lot of football games. We're gonna at least 10. North Texas dub, Howard dub, Western Kentucky dub, Northwestern dub, at Rutgers dub, at Nebraska dub, Ohio State at home dub, at Michigan dub, Minnesota at home, coming dub, bye dub, USC at home dub, at Washington dub ×2, Purdue at home. Honestly, I'm sick of playing Purdue every year. I'm bored.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm bored.
Sorry, Purdue. Move over.
I'm bored.
Replace that with the Notre Dame game every year. Then it's like, holy shit. Then it's like they're starting fights over Thanksgiving. Like that's a rivalry. Like that. Now we're talking.
In theory,
like you're literally gonna have fights at the Thanksgiving table between Hoosier fans and Irish fans as they get like loading into that game every year. Like that would be the like it would start to challenge all of the top rivalries in the country for biggest rivalry, modern rivalry in the sport.
Yo, just think about it like this: rivalry week. You got big noon kickoff, the game. Boom.
Obviously.
CBS slot, Indiana Notre Dame.
No, that probably honestly to appease
night
NBC
game
in this scenario.
Night game, Oregon Washington, and UCLA USC.
I think you'd have to put Indiana and Notre Dame on NBC. And that's how you appease NBC.
But at 3.
Yeah, they get a 3 o'clock game. We had the people forget that the Iowa game last year was on Peacock, and that's why
you could do Iowa Nebraska at the same time on CBS at 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would just be epic.
It would be and then take it. Obviously, the Big Ten dominates that slate, but then take it Alabama and Auburn, Who else are playing that week? Fucking Clemson and South Carolina are playing, and Georgia Tech, and
yeah, all eyes will be on the Big Ten.
Yeah, but it's just right. It would be an epic rivalry week.
Epic. No, noon kickoffs are pretty fun. Trojan fight. They're pretty cool. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not. Bloomington
doesn't
really
get. It's eggs and cakes. I know it takes
as long as it doesn't rain.
Takes a while to get used to, but just hound down 6 fried eggs and then drink as many beers as you can. Like that's literally it. Eggs and cakes. That's it. It's easy.
John Jacob says, I heard Utah might join the Big Ten. What do you think? What other teams might join? I like Utah. I really do like Utah.
Can't add Utah without BYU. I just don't see that happening.
That's not true at all.
I don't.
For hoops, BYU would be a great ad.
I want Stanford and Cal as a West Coast guy. I think they'd be perfect additions.
I think we trade Maryland to the ACC. We pick up Miami.
Trojan fight, we will see if I will be in Bloomington USC week. I'm planning on being a road warrior this year, though. I will be at the big house.
I haven't picked my game yet. I want to go out to Seattle, but
We're trying to figure out sailgating.
Yeah. And then I definitely want to get to Bloomington, but I'm not sure which game that'll be. Either it might honestly end up being the USC game, would make the most sense, but we'll see. I'd like to get to the big house too, but I don't think that's happening this year either.
You kind of gotta go small if you're gonna go big house. I low key got my group before already.
No, I don't think I can do it like scheduling wise.
I know. That's why you're not in the group. Where?
Excluding me from something I can't even go to.
That's not what excluding means. It's not.
That's how you framed it.
I guess maybe semantics.
It's so funny.
The Big Ten should try to get into Texas or Florida. Yeah, just arms race. Take everyone. We should get Bama. Fuck it. We should take Bama for the SEC. Checkmate. Checkmate's raps. It'd be so fucking funny.
It's unreal. Yeah, Brad didn't even ask me about the big house. Didn't even know I couldn't do it either.
It's not true. It's lies.
No, it's definitely true. That's all I got for football.
Are we gonna talk about basketball?
Yeah, I want to talk about basketball briefly because Indiana representing the United States in the FISU America games, playing in Peru against Peru. They changed the groups literally today. There was supposed to be on a live stream that kind of happened, kind of didn't. The live stream was laggy. There was some weightlifting in there. There was some college soccer on a loop going on. Funny enough, Washington was playing. Looked pretty good too until they froze in the 73rd
Good program.
minute.
Christian Roldan played there. World Cup guy.
Yeah, there's
something wrong with me, isn't there?
It was definitely an experience trying to tune in for that basketball game. But it is cool to have Indiana basketball back. They're on the floor. It's not a very competitive team that they're playing against. The final score was 115-36 Hoosiers. There's not really much you can take away from this, I guess, in terms of who they played against. But I'll just read you the scoring for the Hoosiers, Brad, and you tell me what you think. Sherelle led the team with 19.
And
Prince Alexander,
rebounds?
huh? No,
I only rebounds or just points?
Only got points. Only got points.
They only count points in FIBA,
I guess. Prince Alexander Moody had 18. Carvalho had 13. Manhurts had 12. Mustaf had 11. Burton 10. Sisley 10. Mondin 6. Lindsay 6. Snively 5. Winker 3. Harris 2.
Okay, Lindsay not keeping up with the pack.
And Harris either.
Overreaction Tuesday. Pick it up,
Could it be because they were playing against basically a high school team? They beat them 115-36.
If he's going to put up 6 points, better have 10 assists with that squad. But yeah, Sherelle looks like the real deal. Looks like he's going to be a good inside-out player. Going to pair well with Igatolu, who they didn't even have in that game. 7-2 center out of SMU, out of Turkey, Istanbul. Should be one of the more formidable front courts in the conference. Pair that with Darren Harris, who seems to be the starter as of right now, Bryce Lindsey, and Marcus Burton. Makes for an exciting team. And from what it sounds like, Manhurts, Carvalho, Moody, good spark plugs off the bench. And Sisley seems to be coming along as well with a good – how many points did he have? 10?
10.
Good for him. A good shooter, need to get his volume up and just need to get that stamina going so he can be consistent in his shooting.
Biggest takeaway, Brad, from watching people talk about the game, Von Carvalho is rebounding.
Love a wing that rebounds. He's super athletic. He should be crashing the boards. Uber athletic. The kid is 3-and-D. Like when you think 3-and-D wing, like Von Carvalho checks the box. A really, really good shooter and super athletic, and we'll be able to keep up in the Big Ten athletically.
Yeah. So Indiana basketball posted a bunch of the highlights on Twitter. They've got some pictures on there. They got the quote unquote extended highlights on YouTube. So I'm excited to check those out after. But just a nice glimpse into what the future could look like for Indiana basketball. It was nice to have a Darren DeVries press conference. He cracked a funny joke about like the stream not working perfectly in the U.S. And me and you were speculating a little bit before the show that this team's going to be really fun to watch, and they're put together in a fun way. The offense could be really explosive, and we saw the bones of what a Darren DeVries basketball team could look like when it's playing well at points last year. This team looks like it's more talented and better suited to play in the Big Ten, and we'll get more footage as it comes out. But I would caution anybody, and I know there's a bunch of jokes in the timeline about like 115-36, like guaranteed natty, and obviously it was very sarcastic. It was coming through the screen how sarcastic it was, but I would just not put too much into what these scores look like. Much like the Indiana spring game, like they beat them by 100. Like we're
really just getting these guys to play basketball together.
Exactly.
It's really all it is. And obviously this is the way to do it as soon as possible so they can like know what they need to work on going into the heart of the off season, which is coming up for them. So I'm excited to see how this team progresses, and I'm pretty pumped for them. I'm not expecting big things out of like a Justin Mondin or a who's the Pepperdine kid. Who am I thinking of? You said his name. He played.
Snively?
No, he's a walk-on. It's
Winkler.
Yes, Ben Winkler. Not expecting too much from them.
Follows me on Twitter.
I saw some things about Sam Alexis' fifth year.
He was on the roster because of the FISU rules, I guess.
That would be fantastic, big depth for this team. And
DeVries deflected anything Sam Alexis fifth year related, so we didn't get any information.
Exactly, which is good. At least it wasn't a no.
It wasn't a no. It's not really the time.
There's a backup center spot wide open on my depth chart right now. It's wide open. And what was my evaluation of Sam Alexis? Your ideal backup 5.
He'd be the perfect backup 5 for this team because you'd feel comfortable starting him next to Sherelle.
Yeah. That's what you want.
Yeah, that'd be nice. It'd be really,
I don't know
really
if you feel
nice.
comfortable, but you'd be like, okay, we can figure it out.
If you had another guy, yeah, I guess it's a good point. Yeah. It was what we had last year, and the rest of the team got better around him, and so that wouldn't be my biggest concern, I guess. Mm-hmm. Or if that was my biggest concern, I'd be happier about what the rest of the team.
Did Burton not play?
He did. He had 10.
Okay. All right.
Again, it's hard to like. I don't know how long everybody played. Like, I'm sure that like Burton, the fact that he's coming off an injury, probably didn't play too much. I would be stunned if he played like deep into the third quarter. But again, like they're up by 70 after the second quarter. Like it seems like they're just dribbling down and getting whatever shot they wanted. So it's like, it's hard to, again, even really evaluate the performances other than the fact that they got out on the floor. I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me is that Darren Harris is a lethal shooter without a 3-pointer tonight. That's like, but again, I didn't watch the game. I don't know the game flow. I have no idea if he was going out of his way to drive. Maybe he was working on stuff. Maybe he was passing. Like, I don't know what they were told before the game. So it's like, how can you even have a takeaway from an experience like this, other than the fact that, like you said, they got out on the floor, they're running, there's some video, you can do some recruiting off of it, and they're in Peru just hanging out. So that's awesome. Not just hanging out, they're there for a tournament, but team bonding as well happens in these types of
Are their numbers out yet? I don't think they are.
On the website? Yeah, they are. Because you had the comment. You didn't like the fact that
website.
Prince is wearing 8.
They're not on the website. I was just trying to figure out who's wearing number 4.
One of the starters for sure.
I mean, if that number's open, that's Sam Alexis's number. That's all I'm going to say.
Now I'm digging for the team numbers. I have no idea where I would find this. I swear I retweeted it. All right. Well, we'll be able to Google it and figure it out. But yeah, that's what I got for this week, Brad. Indiana basketball's back. They're going to play 2 or 3 more games, I think. I don't know. They screwed up. They had 3 games set, and then they changed up the whole group, and now all the teams they were supposed to play are on the other side. And so who knows? They were supposed to start at 6 o'clock. Then they were supposed to start at 6:35. Then everybody turned it on, and the game was in midway through the first quarter. So we'll just be on the lookout for the highlights. And yeah, hopefully everybody gets through healthy, and we get some team chemistry developed, and the fellas come back ready to go.
Forgot we have Clemen Sokolov there too. I guess he hasn't gotten on the floor yet. He could be a backup 5, a 7-footer. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
I'm only seeing point total. Oh, here we go. Manhurst is wearing 0. Darren Harris is wearing 1. Bryce Lindsey is wearing 2. Jaden Mustaf's wearing 3. Drew Snively's wearing 4. That could easily be.
That's a walk-on. You're wearing 44 now, bud. And Drew Snively would be like, knowing Drew Snively, be like, oh, take it. Have at it.
Moody's wearing 8. Moody's wearing 8. Sisley's wearing 11. Mondon's wearing 12. Rayford's wearing 14. Salakov's wearing 17. Igatolu's wearing 21, Sherrell 22, Carvalho 24, Stevens 30, Winkler 33.
Beautiful.
And it does feel like they're a player short. And number 4 is, in theory, open.
I'm not making a prediction yet, though. No,
I wouldn't even ask you to. I think that's a step far.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fun. You'd be put me in a bad spot.
I never want to put you in a bad spot.
Yeah. Because obviously I want him to come back, but I don't know. I don't know if any of these guys are going to come back. He didn't really play his junior year at Florida. So there could be an argument. I don't know if it was because of injury.
Well, if they went to 5-5 and they grandfathered everybody in, but allowed you to choose which rules benefited you more, then he's eligible for a 5th year based on 5-5.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're probably just waiting for confirmation on that. But then also, didn't he go, like, he declared, didn't he, or whatever, ran out of, who knows? There'd have to be a lawsuit probably, but
yeah, he played 4 full seasons. He shouldn't have any eligibility.
No, that's what I mean. 5-5 would be, like, the new rules would grant him an extra year of eligibility.
Which is crazy for basketball. Like football, that the 5-5 makes sense. Basketball,
because they're probably not playing the first year. But basketball is if you're physically ready, even if you're not, as a freshman, if you're good enough, you should be able to contribute.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's all I got for this week, Brad.
We'll see how that plays out.
Comment, share, subscribe to Indiana at the Voice of College Football on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook or watching on X, hop on over to YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It very much helps the channel out. We're chasing 1,000 subscribers. It's a lofty goal, it seems like, at this point in the off season, Brad, but we're slowly climbing towards 700 at a nice steady pace. And so we set high goals. We try and chase them down. If we don't get there, we reset them and we go again. And so, yeah, we'll see if we get there. But yeah, hit that like button, subscribe button. Helps the channel out tremendously. Check us out on Twitter, on X. Follow me at Alec Keyser. Follow Brad at Bradley_Loomis8. Check out the Voice of College Football at the VOCFB. Check them out on YouTube as well. Check out VOC365. You can see my reaction live to the Monshun sales commitment. And then I've been talking about writing something, it feels like, for 6 months, but the ideas have been flowing. I'm definitely going to get something on paper this week. Looking forward to getting back into that type of groove. And yeah, I'm excited for the short-term and long-term future of the Indiana Hoosiers football program as we ramp up towards what will be a really exciting fall camp.
Super problem is going to be hat season. I'm going to start wearing my fall camp hat. When does fall camp start?
That's a great question, Brad. You're usually the guy with that type of information.
Oh, yeah?
Season starts a little later this year, so my guess would be probably first or second week of August.
I don't even think they've announced it. Yeah, could be any time. I haven't heard anything about it, though. And Google's giving me nothing, so we'll move on. Hope you enjoyed the show. Good time.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't have a closing thought, that's what we got. Brad and I'll be back next week, 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday night. And appreciate everybody for hanging out.
Go Hoosiers.
Oh, wait, here's my closing thought. I have a Yahoo College Football League set up with 20 or 19 open teams. I guess I would be the 20th team. And it's an Indiana Boys College Football League. And so I'll throw it out to the good listeners. If anyone's interested in playing college football, fantasy, Brad, do you want a spot in this league?
I will join the league.
If anybody wants to play college fantasy against Brad and I, hit me in the DMs. Let me know, and I'll add you to the league.
Beautiful.
We'll do the draft. I don't know if we'll do the draft live on stream or if we'll record the draft or what we're going to do, but we'll probably make some content out of it.
That reminds me, I got to add you to another league that we're co-managing, so I gotta
I'm excited for that.
Figure that out. I joined the league today. I got to figure out how to add you now and figure out how to log into Yahoo. I guess you could do it through Google now. I don't know.
Crazy stuff going on.
Over my head.
Well above your pay grade. We are a good companion for MLB The Show, Wonky. I will give you that. We are. We're a great second screen. If you just want to toss us on, listen to some Indiana football stuff, grind through some challenges, rip through some FIFA stuff, grind through some college football ultimate team stuff. Like, yeah, it's grind through a dynasty, go get that national championship with SIG. Like, we're right there with you. We're here to hang out.
Go get another national championship with SIG. Another one. You know, I won 10 straight national championships on NCAA 12.
Yeah. I did know that, actually.
Yeah.
You know how you got NCAA?
Yeah, I bought an Xbox 360 off you during COVID. And I won a bunch of... And I basically, culminated this.
No, manifested.
Manifested. There it is. That's the word. You're right. Your vernacular is eclectic, too.
Yeah, I got quite the vocabulary, my friend.
There you go. Yeah. Love that. All right.
We'll see you guys next week.